Hi guys, it's Becky from Who Farm in Telford, and I'm going to be doing a talk to you today about our meerkat group. So in here we have our 5 male meerkats, and what we class the group as is a mob or a gang. These guys range in age between 6 to 8 years old, and they came from 2 different locations where unfortunately they were kicked out of their mob, so their original home. Meerkat groups are actually run mainly by females, so females are alpha. So you have one alpha female in the group and she picks her boyfriend, and he will then become the alpha male. We have one alpha female that runs the meerkat group, and all the other females then are babysitters. So the alpha female will have any pups with her mate, and everyone else is kind of put in line to look after the babies. So you have different roles for a meerkat group. So we have sentry lookout, which is sentry duty. We have tunnel digging as well, so any collapsed tunnels, other meerkats will go in and start digging and refixing those tunnels. And then the main one when pups are around is babysitting. So all females in the group, other than the alpha, aren't allowed to breed at all. It's strictly just the alpha female that is allowed to. The alpha female, however, can change her mate as many times as she wants in her lifetime, and unfortunately that male will be pushed down to the lowest of the group and a new male will take his place. If a new male comes into the group from another meerkat mob and the female likes him, again he will just swap places. But it's completely female run, so the highest male is lower than the lowest female. So as I said, it's completely female run. So when the babies are born, they're the size of a golf ball, and they look just like the adult meerkats, but they're very, very small, fit in the palm of your hand, and they almost have like a grey effect in their fur with the brown going through, so their markings don't become bright until they're about 3 weeks old. They can't see or properly hear until they're 2 weeks old, and they start venturing the nest at 4 weeks, and that's when they become naughty meerkats, coming out of the burrow and trying to muck in with all the others. When they're 6 weeks old, naturally in the wild, meerkats will actually teach their babies their pups, on how to forage for food and also how to hunt different animals. So one of their particular things they love to eat is scorpions. The meerkat adults, so mum, dad and any of us in the group, will show the babies how to pin the scorpions to the ground and bite the sting off the tail. Once the sting's bitten off the tail, the meerkats know it's safe and they can start eating it. So it's a very quick way on showing the pups how to get a nice tasty meal. They will also go after things like snakes as well, so you'll see different documentaries on telly where they've been able to take down a cobra, and they split themselves into kind of like tag teams. Team 1 will make the snake strike towards them, where they're all bunched together making lots of noise and puffing up their fur, while the others are whipping around biting the snake in lots of different parts of the body, and eventually the snake will die from its injuries if it hasn't already sort of slithered off to get away. Meerkats are really clever that they know if they are bitten by the snake, they could die from it. So the best thing to do is kill it before they're bitten. Then these guys will eat it and it's a nice tasty meal, so nothing gets wasted. Now in the wild, these guys actually have a symbolic relationship with the drongo. A drongo is a black bird, a bit like our British bird, best way to describe it, but it has bright red eyes. And the drongo can actually mimic warning calls to meerkats. So if there's a predator in the sky, being a bird of prey of some kind, the drongo will make a meerkat mimic noise and these guys will run underground. But it is a very cheeky bird and it will steal food, so not every time is it being good and looking after the meerkats. Now these guys live in what we call burrows, so they live underground, and these guys will build over 60 different burrows in their lifetime. The reason for that is if they have any illness coming into the burrow, or they have a pest infestation, if there's a particular insect in there that is unfortunately infecting them, a bit like mange or anything like that, these guys will abandon the burrow and go off to their next one that could be up to a mile away from the original one. And then they'll thrive there and live there, particularly if there's a food shortage as well. But they will keep using all these different burrows and go back and forth throughout their life. And it all depends on food and mainly sort of what else is going on in their environment. These guys are really clever, even though they are insectivores, so they do eat a lot of insects. They will obviously eat the occasional meat and fruit and veg as well. But these guys won't eat a particular dung beetle species because it will actually be a clean-up crew in their burrow. So in the night when these guys live underground, if they have to go to the toilet, the insect comes in and takes all of that for them. So they actually will work with different animals as well. Having said that, some meerkat groups will actually make a burrow next to African crested porcupines for safety. Not many things want to take on a porcupine other than sort of lions and leopards. So in safety and in numbers, meerkats will try and build a home near them if they can. The other animal these guys will quite happily live near, or sometimes share burrows with, is yellow mongoose. So these guys, even though they won't sort of live in the same sleeping quarters, they will stick together, safety in numbers. So here we've got our 5 boys that you can see. And you will notice this young chap just here, Stumpy. Stumpy only has 3 legs, and he does perfectly fine on those 3 legs, and he's actually the alpha male in this group. So unfortunately the other 4 boys don't tend to get a look in, so don't feel too sorry for him. But we have the indoor group here. We also have an outdoor group of meerkats where we also have 5 there, and originally the gene pool there started in 2004. And then we have 2 other groups that we have here at Who Farm, where they're actually 2 pairs. So we have Mzizi Marula that actually live with our Indian crested porcupine, and we have Uka and Kovu that are our hand-reared meerkats that live on their own because they just don't like other meerkats. So even though meerkats are sociable animals, they can also be very, very nasty to each other. We have tried to kind of combine all of our meerkats in one shape or form, but sometimes meerkats just won't. It can take anywhere for a week to 18 months to actually get meerkat groups to combine, and sometimes after that they might not actually in the end do so, which is why we have Uka and Kovu living on their own, because unfortunately Uka, being the big boy that he is, he beats up any other meerkats that go into his group. So naturally in the wild, if males and females are having a bit of a scrap for hierarchy, they can be kicked out of the group if they've done something naughty, particularly when it comes to breeding season as well. And one of the other things meerkats will do is bite each other's tail off. So these guys can actually be quite ferocious. You'll notice when our meerkats do stand up, they use their tail for balance, and if that tail has been bitten off, then they can't, and they're not very good for certain jobs in a meerkat mob. Also, it's a visual sort of mark to them as well. So if they try and enter another meerkat mob or gang, unfortunately they can be refused to go into that group, and unfortunately their survival rate in the wild then is much shorter than it would be. So in captivity, these guys could do really well, sort of 8 years old to 15 years old, sort of rough average lifespan. The oldest was a male, I believe, down sort of south of England a few years ago. He was estimated to be 21 years old, and he passed away through leukemia. So meerkats can live a long time, but again it all depends on how healthy they are, so their genetics, and also their upbringing as well. Unfortunately, meerkats are kept as pets in the UK, and it's completely something that we are against. We get asked lots of questions about keeping meerkats as pets, and really the best thing for a meerkat is to either be in the wild, most importantly, or if not, be in a zoo or a farm park where they can have the correct care that's needed. So if you're thinking about getting a meerkat, please don't. Please visit different farm parks and zoos to see them there, or if you get the chance to see them in the wild. So I hope you've enjoyed our talk today, and hopefully we'll see you at Who Farm in the future. Thank you.